Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are on a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. Apologies, I have forgotten to put the banner up for today. Let me quickly change that. There we go. Hello, everyone. Hopefully, all of you are on a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world, and welcome to another Liverpool news episode for you guys tonight. So, yes, apologies, I am 9 minutes late because I say 5 minutes late because yes, I did forget about the stream, and yes, I was watching the World Cup. So apologies for that. How are we all? Hopefully, everyone is having a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. Anyway, I know there's a few people already in here. Jack's already in here saying yes, La as well. Tom's in as well, saying yes, fella. Hello, Tom. Hopefully, on a fantastic day, my friend. As well, Brian's in saying evening, Connor, as well, and Mark saying how are we doing, Connor? I'm doing very well, thank you, mate. I'm pretty much enjoying the World Cup. Again, Darwin not scoring, which is a shame, but again, just I think ITV having an absolute meltdown. Did Ronaldo touch the ball? Didn't he touch the ball? Again, who bloody cares? Jack said I had to watch all your fights in my mailbox as well. Rob, I'll do that. I'll do that all by myself. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, good to see you, my friend, as well. I thought you fell asleep again. No, that's a COVID thing. That is, Tom. That was when COVID was at its peak, realistically as well. But I would be worried if you guys started on time. So yeah, never ever class us being on time. The only time I think we will ever do that is when there is a major breaking news. I think when Mo Salah signed his contract, we were I had COVID when Mo signed his deal. I remember going live straight away and I was like, Christ, this isn't good. This is horrible. But of course it was the biggest news at the time, wasn't it? Of course. But what are we going to be talking about in tonight's episode for you guys? Of course, we're going to be speaking about a club doctor. Yes, the Reds finally, after the position has been vacant for the last 6-7 months. Yes, the Reds do finally have a brand new doctor at the club as well. Of course, we'll also be speaking. We'll also be speaking about, of course, potential investors coming into buying Liverpool, I should say, not investing. Of course, potentially Liverpool could be bought by Saudis or of course Dubai, either a Dubai or a Saudi organization, a consortium, then if you want to call it that. Potentially it could be could be an interesting couple of weeks for Liverpool anyway. But again, of course, it's going to be a very long story for the new ownerships, of course. And of course, we're going to be talking about potential new signings, of course. As you can see by the title, Enzo Fernandes, of course, if any of you guys have been watching the World Cup, the guy that scored the second goal for Argentina the other night against Mexico, that little fella, of course, has been linked with a move to Liverpool. And of course, other bits and bobs that we're going to be talking about as well. I could have easily clickbaited this title with Jude Bellingham, but I thought, we can save that for another day. We've already done that 1,000 times. But look, and either way, we'll talk a little bit about it as well, and other bits and pieces as well. But hopefully, again, like I said, hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day, I should say. Anyways, at Jack's chair. Evening, folks. Who's done this then? I want to know who's done this. That's very good. That's very, very good. Talia Oldbean as well. Breaking news. Jack has unmuted his chat. Unmuted his mic. No, if any of you guys were in the PlayStation parties, then you'd know the pain that I hear every single time. Jesus, Jack will know what I'm talking about, but yes, we don't talk about microphones when Makendo's about as well. Anyway, it's like a new signing, Connor, as well. Yeah, exactly. Again, that's the thing, isn't it? I'll put 10p to buy the Reds as well, says Jack. The real talent is in the room now, Jack, as well. Jack's new chair as well, at the chair as well, Jack says as well. But we will move on to, of course, the news. And of course, like I mentioned at the start of the video, Liverpool do have a brand new club doctor. There he is. Of course, it does look like a very professional photo, doesn't it? But yes, it is confirmed that Liverpool have appointed new club doctor Jonathan Power before Premier League resumes as well. So again, Jonathan Power. Look, don't get me wrong. Did I know anything about him? No, absolutely not. But reading more into it, he's been with the England setup for the last 9 years. He's worked with the first team of England. He's also worked alongside the likes of I think it was the under-17s when they went on to win the World Cup, or the under-17 World Cup. I think the under-21s when they won the European Championship as well. So again, he does have a pretty good track record in these things. But again, it isn't, majorly, or is he the guy that's going to be keeping, Mo Salah fit week in, week out? Of course, he's going to be the person that is going to be, with the new signings, and you see like those videos, and you see them going to the club doctors and so on, and getting the medical checked and so on. So again, but I think it's a position that I think we've all spoken about the last, like I said, 6-7 months since it's been vacant back in July. So again, it actually, no, I think it's longer than July, isn't it? Since then. So again, look, I think it's perfect timing. The fact that he will fly out with the Reds when we go to Dubai next week. Is it next week? I think it's in next week or the next 10 days. I think Liverpool go out to Dubai as well. So again, you hope that obviously it will be something now that we can not put our minds at ease, because look, at the end of the day, behind the scenes, I think a lot of the physical department and the physio department has been torn to shreds, hasn't it? Liverpool since 2020, something around there. Of course, it was made. It was the focal point of us winning the title and so on. I think Klopp even mentioned it as well. But again, it's the fact now that the position is finally filled as well. Of course, before the club is sold. Anyway, but yeah, Jonathan Power as well. If Doug was in here as well, does he hold the power? Absolutely. Fingers crossed. Anyway, to be fair, but. Let me know, guys, your thoughts as well on it getting filled, because again, I think a lot of people on Twitter was like, "Well, this isn't a signing. Like, what's happening?" And that, but again, I think it was a position that was fully needed to be addressed, and it took Liverpool months to do so. Finally, it's done. But Jack sits on a pile of cash as well. He's the money pimp as well. No comment. I think that's with the mic thing. I know. Like, get a new bloody mic as well. But Brian with a confused face as well. Well, he's on trial till next year. Was at England for 9 years. Performance doctor as well. Yeah, absolutely, Mark. As well. And I don't think he's on a trial basis. I think he's signed for longer than that. When I looked at it, but again, I could be wrong with that. So what's this Doctor XG as well? XG 1000 as well. But England, that doesn't fill me with optimism, says Brian as well. England at the minute. Look, obviously Wales play England tomorrow. I am looking forward to it. I don't think Wales are going to get anything from it, but I think that England going forwards in this tournament, I think if they come up against Brazil, they get battered. Yeah, that's my opinion anyway. That's looks like a stock photo by a businessman as well. It was the photo that the Athletic used for it. So I took it from there. So again, we'll work with it. I think that's the best way of putting it at the moment. Anyway, but yeah, we'll leave it like that for a moment. Anyway, but again, it's something that I think a lot of people will be, one of these things that people will be talking about anyway. But Brian, you were spot on about the Fernandes cross went down as his goal tick. Ronaldo will be fuming. Yeah, it did. It did. Yeah, Ronaldo. They did the interview after the game, didn't he? It was like, oh, I definitely got a touch on the ball. Like, come on, like. Again, and I hated the fact that ITV were fully pushing the fact that it was Ronaldo's goal and this, that, and the other, and I'm like, shut up, like so funny as well. And if he was on the pitch, he would be absolutely fuming as well. To be fair, but Mark saying worked at Brentford and Leeds Rhinos Rugby, Huddersfield Town, and the British Olympic Association, and uh, the sports medicine doctor for Team GP at the 2012 Olympics. So there we go. Mark knows a lot more than me. I didn't really look into his background, so thank you, Mark, for sharing that as well. And again, it's one of these things where I think, look, it's one of these. Like I said, I think it's one of these things that Liverpool needed to address over time as well. Anyway, but Cristiano Ronaldo, Suey. But get Mohamed Kudus to Anfield to play at right wing as well. Says Zayn. We will talk about him in a minute because it has been. We'll talk about that in a minute because that is something that we was going to mention tonight anyway. But Everton him Zayn as well on LFC page as well. Lol as well. Oh, is it really? Oh, there we go. To be fair, I looked at the Athletics post and that was it. I didn't look at Liverpool's official thing of it. So again, I apologise for that as well. But Rahal on Irish called it immediately the Liverpool legend. Rahal, no, exactly. It's so stupid, isn't it? And it's the fact that straight away, like you can tell when a player's headed the ball as well. You can see the ball change a little bit. It didn't move. Like it just stayed in the direction from the cross. So yeah, it's so bloody stupid. Anyway, but Powers Works has also seen him act as a consultant specialist in problems and injuries, described as one of the only a few highly trained specialist doctors in the field as well. So again, brilliant. Thank you very much, Mark, for putting that in the comments. And again, if that is true, then again, it's brilliant the fact that it looks like Liverpool have got the right guy in, which I think FSG at the time of Liverpool have done that pretty well in getting the correct people in the door. But again, obviously they are trying to keep that profit up a little bit, of course, with the club being sold and so on as well. But again, as long as the right people are in the door, then I'm more than happy as well, of course. But obviously, going back from last week's news, with the likes of Julian Ward now going and Ian Graham going, again, it's been a very chaotic behind the scenes at Liverpool over the last couple of weeks, hasn't it? Chat as well. But let me know your guys' thoughts as well, which it will be interesting to know your guys' thoughts on it overall as well. But Zayn asks which midfielder. Let me get. As I said, 75 mil out. Yeah, I think that's the one. Which midfielders seem realistic for January? We will talk about that in a little bit, Zayn, as well. We'll talk about that in a brief moment anyway. But we will move on then to, of course, FSG. We will speak about, of course, FSG and the potential sale of Liverpool Football Club as well. Of course, the Mail reporting yesterday, suggesting that Liverpool have entered talks with Saudi Arabian and Qatari consortiums over a potential £3 billion takeover, which, of course, I think the best thing to do is probably take this with a bit of salt. Just reading the article itself was a little bit like, wasn't nothing concrete about it, and again, I think a little bit of it was going over old ground as well with the article that we already knew, from about 2 weeks ago, was the fact that we know there are consortiums at the minute that are trying to gather money to bid on both Liverpool and Manchester United, because of course, again, conveniently, Manchester United have put themselves up for sale, which of course does beg the question of has this been a thing that they've been planning for a very long time, or is it just a spur of the moment thing as well? But again, it's this thing again of your if the price, if the starting price tag is around 3 billion, you are putting yourself in a very small pond yet again. And we'll keep saying this and keep mentioning this, and it is going to be a very small pond. Now, of course, I think the sports minister for Saudi Arabia did mention that he would like to. I think obviously he did an interview. I think before Saudi Arabia's World Cup game. I was going on about, oh, I'd like to, get Cristiano Ronaldo in the Saudi league, and I'd like us to go and invest in Manchester United and go into go and thingy to Liverpool as well, and blah blah blah. And I was like, it was one of those interviews where it was like, I have, like, we have all the power, and we're going to try and develop it into trying and buy it. And I think that's the thing where, now obviously the Prince of Dubai is a Liverpool fan, which I think that would probably be the best thing ever for it to happen. If that was the case, of course, and again, a consortium, and again, take this with a pinch of salt, again, guys, like I said, because there's nothing concrete at the minute. Unlike Chelsea, where Todd Bowley was straight in, and he was the front runner and was like 100% going to get the club. With this and Liverpool, I think at the minute people are a little bit hesitating because of the price tag. Because of course the start is 3 billion, you're most likely going to go up a tremendous amount. Obviously, Liverpool, estimated value is around 4.5 billion at the moment. So again, that between 4.5 billion. It is one of these things where I think that it's going to be interesting to see, who can afford it. That's the realism of it. And again, it's going to take an amount of people to buy it. And then is it the right people to buy the club and take the club forwards and do it the right way? Then that's the other question about it. So, and again, I think FSG, they won't sell. I don't think they'll be one of these people that will just go, right, if someone offered them 3.5 billion, but FSG knew it wouldn't be good, longer term, then I don't think they would do that. I think they would wait and see if there is someone else to look at, I would say, anyway. But again, of course, I could be completely wrong with that anyway. And that's the hope and dream as well, guys, as well. And let me know, chat, as well, in your thoughts in the comment section as well. How much do you think Liverpool will eventually be sold for? And do you think the Manchester United being put up for sale was it a planned out thing, or do you think it was a spur of the moment thing where they saw the fact that and the Glazers saw the fact that FSG had put Liverpool up for sale, and they were like, right, quick, we've got to quickly put the club up for sale, and try and quickly get people in to buy the club and so on. I think it was more of that, in my opinion, anyway. But let me know your guys' thoughts anyway. And of course, we will talk about a few transfers in a brief moment as well, anyway. But let me quickly scroll back up. Rob saying Caicedo for 75 million. Yeah, I'd love Caicedo at Liverpool. I'm not going to lie with it. Mark, we should have top people in building, but big chances mid-sell process worry me. Nobody has taken over, so it's not a case of new ownership. Bring in the new people ahead of time, in my opinion, as well. Rob said market on good authority as well. No Super League con. That's why they are selling. Yeah, no, absolutely. The Super League did massively disadvantage FSG. I think that was made, in the first article piece, the fact that COVID happened and the Super League didn't happen was a big thing. Because again, the Super League would have took care of the ownerships as well, similar to all those rumors of potentially FSG trying to go after an NFL team. The NFL owners are looked after, if that makes sense. In terms of they gain profit from it, I believe. Anyway, if any NFL fans are in here, then let me know that particular stat, because I'm not that sure on it, on how it works. But just looking at brief information, the NFL do look after their owners of teams and so on. So again, I do think that that's what they are trying to go into and so on as well. But yeah, absolutely, the Super League did absolutely destroy FSG as well. But as I said, in January, I think he's available, guys. If I'm being honest with you, I think if Liverpool bid 50 million for him, which again, 50 million for size 8, it's Naby all over again, isn't it? Oh, for God's sake. But no, I think Caicedo would be available in January. Obviously, for the right price. Of course, he's going to be going for the right price. Spain's king guy who backs Madrid pulled out, and everyone else followed as well. They are still in it. I don't care what anyone says. Barca, Juve, Madrid, they are still in it. I think even we're still in it in some sense or another. I don't think we're fully out of it. Obviously, publicly, yes, but obviously privately, no. I don't think so. I think FSG is still hoping one day it can happen. The European Super League will come eventually, says Mark as well. Yeah, I think maybe one day. Maybe one day. Good evening, mate. Hope you're well. I know you need cheering up with you being a Wales fan. Thank you, Chris, as well. I'm not. I don't think England are gonna. I don't think Wales are gonna beat England tomorrow. For being perfectly honest and being realistic, here, no. I think England will win 2-0. Excuse me. I think we'll win 2-0 tomorrow. I think obviously it's a weakened side. I know Jude isn't playing. Or Bellingham's not playing. I think Jordan Henderson been playing. I think Trent might be starting as well potentially, but I'm not particularly sure. And I think if you had beaten America, then yeah, we would have been playing a lot weaker England sides, I would have said. Anyway, but Adagierno from the Echo tell me they've been a negotiation for ages, 75 over 5 years. He's Klopp's number one, he said as well. What's this for Caicedo? But again, he reminds me of Gini Wijnaldum in terms of that workhorse midfielder that is very underrated. I've been very impressed with him at the World Cup with Ecuador. I think look, he'll be every. I think if he went to a top club, not even Liverpool, if he went somewhere else, for example, I think he'd be amazing. I do think he is a really, really good player. Wales will beat England 2-1 tomorrow. I hope so. Absolutely hope so. Would love Enzo Fernandes, absolute baller as well, says Chris. Would love Mohamed Kudus from Ajax as well. Another baller. He's been so good for Ajax and Ghana as well. Yeah, got 2 goals today, didn't he? For Ghana. Absolutely brilliant as well. Let me quickly scroll back up. Brian saying 3 billion, Chris saying 3 billion. Probably we'd be sold for 2.5 billion. Think United will go for 3.5 billion as well. I don't think United will go for as much as Liverpool, Rob, because I don't think the Glazers are selling up everything. I was speaking to my uncle's a United fan. He was saying that the Glazers want to keep a certain percentage of the club where they'll practically keep taking money and that. So again, I don't know. Like, does anyone know how much the Glazers actually own of United? Is it 75% or something like that? Because I know that they sold. I think during COVID, they sold a bit of their shares as well to gain money through COVID. So again, I don't know. But I do think, well, just judging from what he was telling me anyway, that the fact that the Glazers don't want to sell the whole of United, they just want a majority sold anyway. So again, it just depends on it. To be fair, I generally do not know. The United thing is hard to judge, but our decision to sell almost certainly had an impact as well. Yeah, absolutely, right. I would absolutely agree with him on that. United just has to follow us as well. Yeah, just do whatever Liverpool does. Liverpool need a new midfielder, so I wouldn't exactly spend most of our money on Bellingham. We could get 3 other midfielders for the same fee. Bellingham is so good. Don't get me wrong, but I'd rather 3 midfielders. That's the thing. I think, isn't it, Chris, with Jude, and obviously we'll talk about that in a minute because there is 3 teams now for the looks of it. Well, I say 3 teams. I think there's going to be 2 teams in for Jude Bellingham by the end of the World Cup, and I don't think, and it's 2 English teams. Spoilers, one of us. I do think that there is certainly something there, but yeah, absolutely going on about. And again, it's that thing of are FSG and will FSG be a willing? Well, the club is obviously not being sold at the minute. Are they willing to spend 250, 300 million, or 200, 250 million on midfield? And that's the big one. And again, it's for me, it's such a big window. January is a massive window, I think, and obviously, I think one signing would be it. And don't get me wrong, like of course I'd want more, but obviously we can't get more, so that's the problem, and I think people aren't ready for that for a start, because I think people will already go mental at the end of January. Oh, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, we only need one midfielder, and I know that sounds mad, but when you look on the face of things, and what have Liverpool been lacking, this season? It's a workhorse midfielder to keep that tempo going in the midfield. We've been missing that, and again, of course, one midfielder can't change everything, but obviously, and you're hoping with the rest that some players have had, and so on. You hope that Liverpool can come back and be a lot better than what we was in the first 12 odd games. 12 odd, freaking hell, a bit more than that. But the first half of the season, and I've already seen Jack's back. Jack, no, I'm not. We're not having Jay Spearing back. Absolutely not. Well, we technically still already have him back, don't we? So yeah, but for me, I think it's just one signing in January. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that as well. So, but it's one of these things, isn't it, where it's going to be annoying from now until the end, until the summer anyway, to be fair. But I will read more of your comments out. But of course, let's talk about this guy right here, Enzo Fernandez, of course, like I did mention to you guys as well. Of course, I did mention the fact that Liverpool have been linked to them, and it was due to this tweet that wasn't about him, of course. But Florian Plintenberg, I think I pronounced that correctly. If I haven't, then I apologise anyway. But of course, he was speaking about Jude Bellingham. Of course, that's why I said we could have clickbaited with Jude Bellingham, of course. But being told that Manchester United hardly have a chance anymore. Top fight is between Liverpool, City, and Real Madrid. Liverpool and Klopp pushing, but not at any price due to FFP. Price up to 150 million euros, which is around 120, I think 128 million pounds. Jude Bellingham is Liverpool's top target for central midfield, but he does go on then to say this, next to two players from South America. Now, of course, everyone was putting two and two together and was coming up with, of course, the likes of Caicedo, which was one, and the other that was Enzo Fernandez, that has been linked towards Liverpool for the last, I think, 4 months. I think it has been. I think ever since the Darwin Núñez transfer happened, I think Enzo Fernandez has followed suit for some reason, of course. But again, you actually look at Enzo Fernandez as a player, and quickly looking at his stats. Now, let me quickly see if I can get this up for you guys. Anyway, of course, so far this season, anyway, he's got, I think, 1 goal and 4 assists in 18 appearances, which isn't that good, is it, realistically, when I read it out like that? But again, you actually look at the stats. Let me quickly get them up for you guys as well. There we go. I didn't put him up at the start. That's my bad, to be fair. But you look at actually his actual numbers as well. Let me see. Can I put that full screen? There we go. It's gone full screen. If I quickly scroll down a minute, you look at his attacking options. It's in the high 90s, or it's pretty much 99 and so on. Progressive passes. He's up there in the top 99% as well. And again, as a cam or a further 8, I think he'd be perfect. But there's one major problem in the Enzo Fernandez story, is the fact that he has a release clause, and Benfica want around that release clause, which is around 108 million pounds, which is ridiculous. And again, it's one of these things. Jack, I'm going to time you out in a minute. I can see his comments. But no, again, 108 million pounds for Enzo Fernandez is very, very spenny. It is very, very spenny. And again, I don't think Liverpool would ever go to that length as well. is he a good enough player? Of course, watching him the other night for Argentina, he was very, very good. I know plenty of you guys as well have also said that you'd like to see him at Liverpool and so on as well. But again, it's that question of how much would you spend on him, and that's I think one of the big problems when you're looking at it. Could Klopp elevate him? Of course he can. He's done it with so many players. But of course, again, only 21 years of age as well. But again, he will be one for the future. And I did say it on Twitter. I do think there will be a bidding war for him between. I think Man City might go after him. I think Pep might like him. I think a couple of people were saying that he could potentially be the Gundogan replacement if he did go on. And move on to I think he's on a free, isn't he, after this summer? So again, there's going to be a bidding war, 100%, and I do think that there will be something very interesting with Enzo Fernandez as well. But Daz saying big up Connor. Hello, Daz. Hopefully on a fantastic day. How do you think we line up tomorrow against Wales? What England wise? I think pretty much the same team as America, probably. Just maybe Hendo in for Jude Bellingham. I think that's the rumor going around at the minute as well. But Rob saying, yep, I don't think Glazers will sell. They have $500 million profit per season as well. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Brian, 2 transfers. I've heard stuff on Caicedo to Liverpool, and Kudos to Everton mate as well. Yeah, Kudos I think might end up going to Everton. There was something earlier on, wasn't it? As well, but about 97% Glazers have as well, says Mark. That's again, I thought it was a bit lower than that, but if it is, then Jesus Christ. But my new dream midfield, I want Liverpool, Caicedo, Fernandes, and Kudos. Caicedo is defensive workhorse. Fernandes is box to box, and Kudos is creative midfielder. It's perfect balance for our midfield. I think, to be fair, I think Caicedo would work as an 8 more than I would think he'd do as a 6 personally. But again, just depends on whether or not Liverpool do change and keep to this 4-4-2, 4-2-2, 4-2-3-1, whatever you want to call it. The broke formation, I think that's the best way of putting it as well. But Brian says the Glazers are basically about 7 different people for the last few years. 3 wanted to sell and 4 didn't this year. All 7 have agreed to sell. It will be sold 100% if the rights offer comes in as well. Yeah, they'll snatch it, I think, anything when they sell to anyone. I think, if I'm being perfectly honest. Of course, I love Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago, but they're unfortunately aging as well. Yeah, absolutely. I think Madrid are the perfect, example of what you should do with the midfield. Obviously bring in the likes of Camavinga, Valverde, and Tchouaméni, while you still have the likes of Cruz, Modric, and Casemiro at the time, and just slowly transition out of that solid midfield that they have had. I think that's what Liverpool should be doing, but of course we haven't done that. So again, very frustrating, very, very frustrating. We need Jay Spearing back as well. No, we don't. Jay Spearing can stay in the under 21s, and that's it. We do not give him that number 10 jersey for next season. I'll be happy with Caicedo in January and see where we stand in the summer as well. Get Jude in, Rob. Solanke as well. Bloody Solanke. Read my comment, Con. I'm going to clip you. Clip me. I don't want Jay Spearing in a Liverpool jersey. And yeah. If that ends up on Twitter and it's edited, I know where you live, McKendo. I know where you live. I'm just going to say that as well. Jay Spearing has a drink with my mate Jack as well. Yeah, they go to the pub down the road, don't they, Rob? And have a good cheeky pint as well. But that's how you do a transfer tweet. Quality work, Florian, as well. Yeah, absolutely. He's been on it, hasn't he? I think he tweeted about Konrad Laimer as well. He's joining Bayern Munich as well. So again, that's another Liverpool target that's gone elsewhere. But I think obviously I think that was an obvious thing, that Konrad Laimer was going to be going to to Bayern Munich. I think that was the thing that obviously in the summer I don't think Bayern wanted to pay. I think it was 35 million, wasn't it? The Leipzig were asking for. And again, you know, when you can get him on a free transfer, it's that thing, isn't it? To be fair, anyway. But Jack's saying I'm pushing for today, Michelle Keegan, but it's not going to happen, sadly. You never know, Jack. It could happen one day. Jack, your punching game as well. And Jack with a couple of emojis as well. Very good player as well. I think he's got on about Enzo Fernandes as well. You could do better, Jack. Find a nice Scouse Irish girl as well. Jack's got him. He's got the very good looking females where he lives. No, I'm joking. Quickly go back up. I do agree. Saicedo is like Wijnaldum. Yeah, I think he's. I think for what Liverpool needs, he is pretty much the perfect player, especially on that left-hand side. I know Thiago's there, and don't get me wrong, if Liverpool, you know, I still keep them in this 4-3-3. You know, again, I think Thiago is one of these people that I think, you know, I think you can use him as a luxury player, and that's the thing. I think Liverpool, even though I love Thiago Alcantara, I think Klopp. I think when we first bought him, I thought we would have used him more of a luxury player. Now we rely on Thiago so much that when he doesn't play, Liverpool are a completely different team, and not, you know, a good team in that sense. So again, if it can take some pressure off of that, it will be a good one. But 4-4-3. Todd I don't know what that's about. Rob Tushmeni would have won us this league as well. Yeah, absolutely. Clipped as well. Thank you, Makenda, for that. I'll see that later on Twitter. Bellingham isn't the only game. Isn't the only game in town. In 2 years, there will be a new guy as well. Yeah, there's one of these things, isn't it? It's like every single season there's a new person on the block. But in saying that, Bellingham is 19 years of age, and if he's good now, imagine what he's like in 3 or 4 years' time. Like, that's scary to think about. But yeah, obviously the price tag is ridiculous. But it is the thing. Last year you had, of course, the battle between Madrid and PSG for Kylian Mbappe. Obviously, this summer coming up, it's going to be the battle between us, City, and Madrid. Which I do think it won't be. I don't think Madrid are going to be going after Jude Bellingham. I think they're going to go after that man. But then I think Barella will be their biggest on their target list, I would say. I do think he will be going to Real Madrid, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Because, look, will he be cheaper than Jude Bellingham? Yes, that's an easy answer. But, of course, you're going to get quality straight away. Not saying, of course, Jude Bellingham isn't quality, but again, Barella is in that world-class bracket now before going to Madrid. Bellingham is there, but of course, he isn't that the finished piece. Then I think with Barella, he's more towards what he could potentially be at as well. So, but I have moved. Wait, what? No, you have not. I know exactly where you live, my friend. But what about But Danny Alves? Absolutely not. Wait as well. This game's Cafu as well as Rob. Bayern Munich rating Bundesliga shock horror as well. Yeah, it's typical now, isn't it? But yeah, Barella won't leave Italy, only for Real as well. Yeah, I agree 100%. I think he will end up going to Real Madrid. Pulisic linked as well. I've seen that. I think Redman is doing a video on it now. If anyone thinks that Christian Pulisic is coming to Liverpool, then again, ridiculous. I think there's certain players that are just easy to write with Liverpool. We had it for years with Marco Reus, for example. But don't get me wrong, at one point Marco Reus would have been excellent for Liverpool Football Club, but it was like Goetze and Reus just constantly getting linked. with a move to Liverpool, and then obviously when Klopp joined, it was constant and consistent, which was annoying. But again, it's these players. It's consistent, isn't it? You know, they constantly get linked, and so on as well. But to Gavi or Rice would be nice as well. Yeah, I think Declan Rice, I think, will definitely be gone from West Ham in the summer. It's just a question who to. I think United will obviously try and put a bid in for him. I think Declan Rice is a bit of a controversial one. I think for me, I wasn't as sold on Declan Rice until we played West Ham this season, and Declan Rice was amazing in that midfield. And I think, yeah, it's just the English tax, isn't it? Though with Declan, like, you know, obviously price tag getting spoken about. You know, was it 100 million at least for Declan Rice? Which, you know, is Declan Rice worth that? No. To be fair, is any player worth that? Not really, unless you lean on Messi. But, you know, look, I just think that Chelsea, I think Chelsea and United might go for a bidding war with there. Obviously, Chelsea want him. Obviously, Mason Mount being there and so on. So again, it's one of these things, isn't it? But can't spend 80% of our budget on one player if we have 200 as well. Yeah, absolutely right. As well, I don't think Jude Bellingham is going to be going for over 100 million. I don't personally. You know, Dortmund did this when Sancho's contract was, and they were saying 125 million, and the summer come and they were like, okay, 100 million, and then it went down, and then United eventually got him for, what was it, 74 million, 75 million at the time, as well. But again, Sancho not having the best of careers at Manchester United. Can't stand him, Mark, as well. He's so Chelsea as well. That's with Declan Rice as well. Yeah, I think Chelsea is the number one place where I got, because I think that was hilarious. Where was it, last week or 2 weeks ago, where some Chelsea reporter was going, "Oh yeah, Liverpool are interested in Declan Rice." I'm like, well, how do you know that? You're a Chelsea writer. That's not linked to anyone from Liverpool. So again, I thought that was very, very funny as well. But Chelsea know how to ruin a player as well. Absolutely. Brian, we've got to get a midfielder in. That's all I'm concerned about right now. Big deals can be done this summer as well. I think, like I said, I think 250, 300 million in an ideal world needs to be spent on that midfield. And that's the thing. I think Bobby Firmino, if Liverpool didn't have to spend as much money on the midfield, I don't think Bobby Firmino would be getting a deal right now. I think that might be an unpopular opinion. I want Bobby to get a new deal. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely want Roberto Firmino to get a new deal. But would he be getting a new contract if Liverpool didn't have to spend money elsewhere, particularly in the midfield? That's another question for another time anyway. But again, it would be interesting to know. I do think he will be given, is it like a 2-year deal with an extended 3-year option? So again, keep Bobby around. I love Bobby. It's negotiations. You start high and you settle as well. Yeah, absolutely. And again, I don't think Bellingham is going to go for 150 million euros as well. And I think as well, Jude Bellingham has a huge say in this as well, because I think if he turned around and went, I want Liverpool, and that's it, I think then Dortmund would work, very hard then with Liverpool to go, okay, we can work something out. And that's the thing where Liverpool have to, take advantage of, if Jude, even for 1 second, goes, I want Liverpool, you pounce on it and you go and get him. I think that's the crucial thing where you have to just go and get him. Because I think we even spoke about it though, chat. Even when Thiago signed, and went, oh, Liverpool haven't, we haven't signed a world class midfielder, ever. I don't when we were thinking about it, Liverpool haven't really gone into that market and gone and bought someone. And look, I'm not saying Jude Bellingham is world class and being talked about as the best midfielder in the world. I'm not saying that, but it's the potential to be the best. And there's so many similarities to Steven Gerrard, for example, where, obviously I think even Jude was speaking about it. I think England's first game he was speaking about how, Gerrard's idol, and you can see some similarities. Obviously, Steven Gerrard also speaking about Jude Bellingham. I think last week as well, praising him, saying he's England's best player, and so on and blah blah blah. So Stevie, get those get those meetings booked in, get him to Liverpool, please, as well. But you look at it, at the end of the day, Jude Bellingham will have a massive say in where he goes, and we just hope and pray it's Liverpool, and that's it. And if he goes to City, look, don't get me wrong, I'll absolutely hate it and I'll despise it, but I'll go, wow, we're a player. And it's the same with Erling Haaland, and that's the thing. You can't just turn around and go, oh, Erling Haaland's crap, blah 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 blah. No, he's not. He's an amazing footballer, and it's absolutely terrifying when you play up against them. So again, it's this thing, isn't it, where unfortunately you have a a you know a juggernaut in terms of what City can do in terms of money and so on. And again, you can't do anything against it, which is shite as well. Sorry for my language. It is past the watershed anyway, but being linked to us would inflate the price as well, says Mark. Again, it's one of these things, isn't it? And again, Liverpool will get used throughout January, throughout the summer as well. Oh yeah, Liverpool are after him. Do you want to, pay the price that we want you to pay, and so on? It's the classic thing, isn't it? And again, it's annoying. But if City offer 100, we have to match it. Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with it. But right, if City go right, there's 100. Liverpool go and do it, and that's the thing. I don't want, and this is the thing. If Liverpool are prepared to go, and the quote of all in for Jude Bellingham, if they quit at the first hurdle, what was the last 2 years for? Unless there's a solid plan B where they haven't, a genuine player that is, someone else that can come in. What was the point for the last 2 years? That's the thing. I think would be very much annoying as well. Anyway, but Rob saying I may be crazy, but I think Klopp's gonna keep putting Darwin out wide, and him and Diaz are gonna rotate. Sounds crazy, but Bobby's playing well. Nunes are playing well, and Diaz plays well as well. Yeah, I don't know. I, I could see that as well, and again, if anyone else is really looking forward to Luis Diaz coming back as well, he's going to be very exciting. Of course, he is fit and ready for the Dubai tour as well, so massive positive that he's going to be fit and ready by the start of the obviously Boxing Day fixtures as well. So again, that'll be brilliant. Actually, I say Boxing Day, we don't play. The first game we play is the 22nd, isn't it, against Man City in the cup? So again, it could be a very, very exciting game against City. But a very complicated transfer, and we're losing Julian Ward with no replacement transfer dude lined up as well. Yeah, it's not the best, is it, at the minute as well. But look, a lot of things, Julian Ward isn't going anyway until, the summer. And again, the deal might get done, or the major things might get done beforehand. So again, we don't know, do we? But it is a little bit. I'm not so much worried about Julian Ward going. I'm more I'm more worried, sorry, about Ian Graham going, because of course he was the guy that found Addy Robertson, or a key part in finding. I think he found Genie, he found Robbo as well. So again, more a little bit concerned about him going. In my opinion, anyway. But Elliot is going to be class for us as well, Mark. Just need that depth as well, says Jack. Yeah, absolutely. One midfielder will get us top four in summer. We can dream big as well. Absolutely, Rob. Absolutely. Just hope we don't buy Mello, Arthur Mello, Klopp knocking him down for a cheap price. No, I don't think. Judging from what we've seen, Mark, and judging from what Klopp has said as well, he's not getting bought. And I think there were rumours this tonight that Juventus have got rid of Allegri tonight. So again, Juventus are just a complete mess at the minute. I'm going to quickly check that news as well, by the way. Yeah, they're just rumours at the minute. Apparently, Allegri's gone from Juventus. So, again, don't really know if he has gone. But again, I don't think Arthur Melo will be a Liverpool player next season. But 1 Tuchel, 2 Jude, 3 Valverde, 4 Lima. That was last season's list, in my opinion. Yeah, I would agree 100%. And obviously now Jude is number 1 on that as well. I think obviously you can move Lima off of that as well for this coming season and put Saizedo there as well, probably at number 2 as well, I'd say. That's what happened with Tchouaméni. We had him lined up. Real were his dream move, so he swerved us last minute. PSG offered even more money last second, but the player said Real only. And do you know what, Bri? That I don't mind. I don't mind the fact that he just didn't play anyone, and he said this, isn't he? I think he said it in the French media and so on, and going, look, Liverpool did speak to me. Liverpool, were the first people that come out, and we had conversations. As soon as Real Madrid were interested, that was my destination. I didn't mind that. He didn't play. Apparently, didn't play Liverpool around and so on. So again, but it's good that Tchouaméni didn't do that. But again, Liverpool should have had a lineup. Should have had a different person in the door, shouldn't they? As well. But hello, Connor, as well. Hello, Doug. Hopefully, on a fantastic day, my friends. Obviously, Panav is in as well. No, Panav, hopefully on a fantastic day. Hi to Doug as well. What's the best thing about living in Switzerland? I don't know, but the flag is a big plus. Yep. That's the end for tonight, guys. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, we'll be going off in a minute anyway. But Panav, for God's sake, if Mbappe had gone to Real, we would have had Tchouaméni now, in my opinion. Yeah, maybe. I don't think we would have, if I'm being perfectly honest. I just think Madrid massively overspent on Tchouaméni to stop PSG from getting him. I think they would have got him either way, if I'm being honest, right? But again, obviously, Mbappe not going to Madrid was a massive, help. Then I would say, but again, I do think he would have gone. If I'm being perfectly honest, but that's the only reason Madrid paid that money. You are spot on, Brian. Yeah, absolutely. What was it, 100 million euros, and I think a bit more in terms of extras and so on. So yeah, I absolutely agree with you guys on that as well. But Doug asking, who has been your biggest disappointment in the World Cup? Can I put Wales in that bracket? Biggest disappointment? I'm gonna go Germany. I'm wearing a Germany, sweatshirt now. I think Germany. I think they've been awful. Defense looks terrible. Midfield looks awful, and attack looks terrible. But yeah, I'd go Germany for my biggest disappointments. I know they can still qualify and that, but at the minute, I'd say Germany at the minute. Apart from that, I'd say probably Wales for just being that crap. But yeah, I'd say Germany at the minute. Let me know, guys, your thoughts on that as well. To be fair, is my phone right? Yeah, my phone's all right. For some reason, my phone just went white screen. That absolutely scared me then. And then with Doak and other kids performing well, we'll have to see what happened. What Klopp wants as well. Absolutely. He Panav as well. Uruguay have been poor. Belgium too. Yeah, absolutely as well. Panav saying Uruguay as well. Connor. Yeah, absolutely agree. I think to be fair, yeah. I should have mentioned that first of all, didn't I? Because of course, they just played Portugal, but yeah, then Belgium as well. Yeah, Belgium have been very, very poor. Germany have been poor. Is there anyone else really? Quickly look at the group stages at the minute. Let me quickly look at this. I'm in a chat. There's been any other disappointments really? Could say Argentina, because they lost to Saudi Arabia. No, I'm kidding. No, I'd say that's about it. I'd say, yeah. So Uruguay, was it Uruguay, Germany, um, Belgium as well. I think, yeah, I think them three have been the biggest disappointments in the World Cup so far. Um, I'd say, let me know, guys, your thoughts. The best team so far in the World Cup. Before we head off, very, very quickly, let me know who you think has been the best team in the World Cup so far in terms of performance. I think Brazil are one for me. I think they look very, very solid and look tactically ready to face a big team in the World Cup. But yeah, Brazil would be mine personally. But Germany had a young squad, then dug out their old guard as well. Yeah, absolutely. As well, yeah. But guys, let me know who you think would be who has been the best team so far at the World Cup as well. But big up your team, Barca. Hello, John. Hope you're having a fantastic day as well, my friends. Hi to John as well. Mark says France. Yeah, France have been very, very good. Obviously, Ibu Kanate, he's looked impressive, hasn't he, over the last two games as well. I think obviously he'd be amazing winning in this World Cup. Hello, Connor. Also, Darwin underperform means he wants to come back ASAP. Tell us also we need to sign Kudos. He's been an absolute quality player so far with Ghana. Yeah, Andrew, he has been absolutely brilliant, hasn't he? He has been absolutely amazing. Let's be honest, no one really been that great. Have they been? But best team, Brazil, France, and Spain as well. Yeah, agree absolutely. Canada is spells just lacking the quality up top and experience as well. Yeah, actually, I would agree. I think Canada have been unlucky though, haven't they? I think the lack of tournament experience as well has been, a major key point as well. Obviously, they were 1-0 up when they the other night and just completely fell apart against Serbia, I believe. So again, you hope that they can they still qualify, or are they out? I think they're out, aren't they? Unfortunately, but France, Mbappe is going to eat this World Cup. He's unstoppable. He's been pretty good, isn't he? Let's be honest as well. I still think it'll be Brazil France final as well. Says Mark of that final. To be awfully honest with you, Brazil need Neymar back ASAP. Yeah, absolutely. I think he'll be back after the group money after the group stage. I think he'll be back. But if you look at his ankle, Jesus Christ, that's horrific. Anyway, but of course, as you guys have mentioned as well, I haven't brought it up on the stream as well, but yeah, as you can see, it has been mentioned. Liverpool have entered the race to try and sign Mohamed Kudus as well. That's been, I think, Dutch TV. I think that was where it got announced anyway. But of course, let's go back then to what we've spoken about in today's video. Of course, Liverpool's brand new club doctor. Of course, Liverpool finally appointed a new doctor. Of course, Jonathan Power. Before, of course, the Premier League has started. We've also spoken about FSG and, of course, the new rumor that has come out about, I say rumor, of course, the Mail are reporting that Liverpool have entered talks with Saudi and Qatari consortiums over a potential £3 billion takeover. We've spoken as well about Enzo Fernandes and, of course, Jude Bellingham as well. And I think we've also spoken about Caicedo as well in this video. Of course, Florian Plettenberg obviously mentioning the Jude Bellingham news, and of course mentioned the fact that Liverpool are also going after two players from South America as well, which of course is big, big news. Of course, the news in the last hour coming out about Liverpool have entered the race to try and sign Mohamed Kudus as well. So hopefully, we might have some more news over the next couple of weeks for you guys anyway. But yeah, it's been nice coming back, guys. Obviously, I haven't been streaming. I haven't streamed much over the World Cup as well. I'm planning to stream over the World Cup. We might do some more content, maybe a bit more concerning the World Cup and so on. So, if guys would like that, then do let me know in the comment section down below anyway. But guys, big thank you to all of you that have popped in for tonight's show as well. Japan have had shot me so far. They beat Germany. They're pretty good when but then again, very, very poor against Costa Rica, I think it was. But what a player he is as well. Kudos as well. Says Brian. Yeah, I think he's going to be one for the future, isn't he? For sure. I think, is he still 23? I think he is at the minute as well. So again, still plenty of time for improvement with that. Excuse me. There we go. It seems the right person for the job as well. Yeah, absolutely, Mark. He scored a hat trick for Ajax, and his post-match interview was all him complaining about be played up front and not in midfield. Brilliant. Sign him up straight away. So says Brian as well. Jack saying great stream, lad, as well. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, each and every single one of you as well. Let me quickly check as well. If you guys are new around here as well and viewing us for the first time, then please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. What are we currently on the stream? Let me quickly have a look. I think we're on 18 likes, so we can get to 20 likes. If anyone's watching on the repeat as well, we very much appreciate it as well. If anyone could share the stream as well, that'd be much appreciated. And if you're new around here, viewing us for the first time, then please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button as well. Like I said, I may have already mentioned that, but again, I do massively appreciate each and every single one of you guys as well. I'm going to try and stream a bit more over the next week as well. Like else, we're just waiting for just trying to get pretty much Liverpool news, because of course the World Cup, and there's been brilliant channels doing World Cup content. Jack, one of them. Look, guys, if anyone, if any mods, put a link in for Jack's channel as well, because again, I think Jack's been doing like 3 or 4 streams a day, with World Cup watch alongs. So again, brilliant content everywhere, guys. So please go and subscribe to each and every single one of the channel. Like, share it out, subscribe, and all that good stuff as well. Because again, it's I appreciate it, Jack appreciate it, John, anyone, the boys from 1892, Doug as well. Again, we all appreciate it, don't we? As well. But thank Connor, it was great, and our amazing community, and the MVP from Anfield Road TV, the chair as well. Yeah, absolutely. Get that chair in, yeah, as well. But 20 likes done. Let's get to 30. Yeah, if we can get to 30, thank you very much for getting it to 20 as well. 20 likes on my screen as well. Oh, brilliant. On mine it says 18 still. So again, apologies for that. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts as well. Get the likes in, get the comments in, get subscribing as well. But I liked it as well, says Brian as well. Owen's in as well. Hello, Owen. Hopefully on a fantastic day. I'm gonna have to get on to Colpon. I do deeply apologize as well. I think Owen sent me a message. I think you sent me a message a couple of weeks ago. And again, I'm terrible on WhatsApp, so message me everywhere, WhatsApp, Twitter, and I'll try and get it. So again, I apologize, but I am gonna have to try and come on to Colpon as well. But I absolutely love seeing you in Euro as well. Just tuned in. Sorry, I've missed most of it. Just go back. Of course, we've spoken about new club doctor. We've spoken about FSG and the supposed consortiums from Dubai and Saudi Arabia, of course, and we've also spoken about Caicedo, Bellingham, and of course Enzo Fernandes as well. We've also spoken about. So again, if anyone wants to go back, check it out, then that'd be amazing. Jack would be good if he unmutes himself as well. Yeah, did he do that at the start of the stream? That would be funny if he did as well. But Jack, Jack's chair as well. I want to know who's done that as well. Jack, if that's you, then again, either that or it's either I've got 2 people that I know who it is, I think. So I'll keep that in mind anyway. But keep it up, Doug and Jack. I all loved Doug's reaction the other day at Costa Rica's goal as well. No need to apologise. Thank you, Owen, for that. But yeah, I am gonna have to get on with that as well. But Talio, Owen, dear boy as well. Yes, the David Attenborough of Liverpool podcasts. That's what I would like to say anyway. Of course, Owen does have a very a voice you could not fall asleep to. You could enjoy. If that makes sense. Well, I'm getting a bit weird with that, but you know what I mean, chat, as well. Anyway, but yeah, that's Doug's link as well in the chat down below. Anyway, but guys, have a fantastic rest of your Monday. Again, hopefully we'll be live tomorrow with another news episode. Hopefully there's a bit more news. If not, we're gonna have a World Cup video for you guys tomorrow anyway. But of course, it will be posted up on the community tab. It will also be posted up on Twitter as well, and we're gonna go live as well. So if you're not yet following us on Twitter, if you're not yet checking out the community tab, then please do so as well. I think if you hit the notification bell, it will put it up as well. So again, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I've been Connor from the COP Council. I'll see you all tomorrow. Ta-ra.